The Loom of Fate has already been completed.
Wow. Genshin Impact's version 4.7 trailer has left me absolutely speechless, including the newly released anime short. Hoyoverse has absolutely cooked, and we are definitely eating well this time. Apart from the return of Genshin's original Giga Chad, Dainsleif, the long-awaited reunion of the protagonist twins, and a natlan sneak peek, this trailer also answered a long-asked question. Why does Sejuin look more human than a Melusine? And I'm hoping 4.7 will finally answer this particular video over here. Starting off with Sejuin, in the trailer we hear about a strange disease that every Fontanian apparently suffers from, and given that Sejuin is the head nurse in the Fortress of Meropide, it could be possible that Sejuin wants to help cure this particular disease. But the problem is that Sejuin feels that Fontanians probably do not trust her at all, and that makes her question whether the fact that she is human or Melusine matters at all. While we ourselves have been debating over why Sejuin is a human-looking Melusine, a mysterious voice in the trailer says,
You used it yourself, didn't you? That's why you have a human appearance.
So I'm guessing Sejuin's human look is the result of this particular it that is mentioned above by this mysterious voice and will only be revealed in her story quest. Maybe this it refers to something that Sejuin had used in order to look more human. Who knows? Now coming on to our next new character, Chlorinde. The champion duelist Chlorine's strength is said to have been something that she inherited from the Maracos Hunters. While the Maracos Hunters are just an old legend for all Fontanians, for Chlorinde, the Maracos Hunter legacy is actually quite real. The trailer also talks about Chlorine's master, who is currently now missing, as well as a mysterious swordsman who, judging by the way he holds a sword, could actually be a real Maracos Hunter. Now that that's over, let's move on to the most important part of the trailer. After what seems like an eternity, the twins finally meet each other, and this time, it's not in a dream.
In the new world, they bade farewell to the shrouded sun. At last, they no longer needed to dwell on their suffering, or try to differentiate between various thoughts of blasphemy. Such was the price they paid, and thus their souls became cleansed and pure.
The most important question to be asked here is who exactly is saying these words? Who exactly is this particular mysterious voice? It could be possible that this is the sinner talking, but in a much less sinister way which we used to hear. Anyways, they seem to be talking about the cursed Khaenri'ahns who bade farewell to a shrouded sun, probably referring to the Black Sun or the Eclipse Dynasty. But before we discuss any further, there is one more voice line from the trailer which we have to pay attention to. And presumably this voice line is from the same mysterious voice we just heard.
That way, Captain Dainsleif could accomplish his own goal. The Loom of Fate has already been completed.
Captain Dainsleif? The only other person who we know would probably say that is Halfdan. But Halfdan's dead. So the only other possibility is that this particular mysterious voice belongs to someone who is from Khaenri'ah, just like Dainsleif is. Now from the version 3.6 Archon quest, we know that Caribert is the son of Clothar Alberich, who is also from Khaenri'ah. And at the end of the 3.6 Archon quest, we see Caribert removing his mask and erupting in abyssal power, as well as the disappearance of the sinner within the particular domain. This gives rise to the possibility that Caribert's consciousness is now that of the sinners. This is further supported by how Clothar Alberich says that a sinner's salvation can only come from another sinner. Caribert's consciousness, which is now occupied by the sinner, could only explain why Caribert will now become the Loom of Fate and reweave the threads of his own destiny. So the voice we heard in the trailer could probably be that of the sinner who is now currently residing in Caribert's body. And the fact that he is also from Khaenri'ah is probably why he uses the term Captain Dainsleif. The Loom of Fate has said to have been the Abyss Order's operation in creating a new god. The completion of the Loom of Fate could mean that the Abyss Order actually succeeded in doing so, and that this god is somewhat related to the sinner's consciousness in Caribert. The completion of the Loom of Fate could also be why the mysterious voice says how they no longer need to dwell on their suffering and how their souls become cleansed and pure. Now it also seems that the Abyss Twin, who used to be Dean's travel partner but somehow parted ways, is finally confronting him. This probably would tell us how the Abyss Twin joined the Abyss Order, as well as why Dainsleif is against it. There is also the tiny possibility that there is the sinner's influence on the Abyss Twin in joining the Abyss Order, hence why Dainsleif feels the need to rescue the Abyss Twin as said in the Teyvat storyline trailer. And finally, from the trailer, it looks like the twins are meeting up in Sumeru, given by how Aether is having his Dendro powers. It also makes sense since Kandria is situated directly beneath the Sumeru Desert. Now speaking of the Sumeru Desert, we can actually see a part of it within the Natlan sneak peek trailer. Judging by that, Natlan should be somewhere around here, to the west of the Sumeru Desert. Now the Natlan teaser also shows us 6 different tribes of Natlan as well as 4 Saurians who are showcased as a new travel mechanism within Natlan. Given that this mechanism doesn't show the traveler mounting said Saurians but rather moves around as one, maybe suggests that the Saurians of Natlan might not just be mere companions. Maybe every Natlan is somehow linked to their own Saurian. Maybe that's the reason why they can't leave Natlan. Or maybe, just like how all Fontanians were basically Oceanids, all the people of Natlan could be actually Saurians or dragons. Wait, so does that mean Bennett could also be a dragon?